Hello, my name is Nicole P. Doyle, and I am the Community Engagement Concierge here at Georgia Black Home Educators, meaning I am at your service. And welcome to the Flourishing Conversations podcast. We're going to have an exciting day today. So today we're going to be talking to some amazing experts, homeschooling parents and educators that are in the tech education space. And so, as many of us know, it's already hard enough to teach the basic reading, writing, and arithmetic. But then you add to it that we want to learn things like programming and coding and advanced mathematics and AI and blockchain. And our kids love robotics and electronics. And so we are here to talk more to an amazing expert about it. So we're going to start with, and I'm bringing on my guest, Sharita Blakely from A1 Digital LLC. And so I will let her introduce herself and her amazing platform.
All right. Yeah. So I'm Sarita Blakely with A1 Digital LLC. I'm actually the co-owner. My partner, Cleophas Harbison, he wasn't able to be here today. So I brought my lovely Latia, which we actually, when you think about like why I said, Tia, I need you to be here, it's like a marriage. I'm more of like on the educational side, and she's the tech side. So quite naturally, when you merge the two, it just makes sense. But I actually just moved to Atlanta about a month ago from Nashville. I was a teacher for 17 years. During the pandemic, really start diving into this. Went back, we were working from home, and then I went back to school in 2021, and I literally was like, I can't do this anymore because my eyes were open and I saw where the world was going. And I realized that the schools were not going to teach the things that I had started to learn. So June 29th, 2022, I called it quits and just start diving into AI, blockchain, Web3, all of this really deep, and just really start meeting people that were in it. They were teaching me a lot. And from that, we start creating. We first created the ABCs of cryptocurrency and the crypto compilation, because one thing I knew in education, that the reading level was not, it's not the highest. All right. So we needed to bring some of these terms down to a very basic level and easy to read. And then we created an activity and coloring book, which I'll get into later on, that also highlights those topics as well. And I'll let Tia let her your background.
All right, so my name is Latia Williams. My initial background was in service. I had an agency serving adults with developmental disability for about 10 years. We transitioned to the Atlanta area 2017. I knew that I just had burnout from wearing so many hats running an agency. And so for years, I just was throwing things at the wall, just trying to figure out what was my next move. um, I discovered crypto late 27. Well, I had been knew about it, but I discovered it, and that light bulb moment happened in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, crypto, once you really, really take that deep dive into the crypto sphere, so to
Yeah,
speak,
yeah,
it's a holistic education, meaning to really, really grasp the concept, you have to learn banking. You kind of have to learn how governments work. You have to learn how like
mm-hmm.
international monetary funds. You have to learn how blockchains function. It forces you to broaden your education, your self-knowledge
Yeah.
in more areas than crypto. And so I've been there since then. I'm an active member here at the Atlanta Blockchain Center, uh, part of the DAO, which is a decentralized autonomous organization, and so many other hats that I wear in crypto. I'm a key opinion leader, which is a KOL, and it just basically says that I'm very knowledgeable in this space, and I'm able to give an adequate opinion on a lot of different topics.
And I
So.
will say this before we move from our introductions. If there's any terminology that we may drop, because in crypto and in a lot of professions, there's acronyms, there's words. I challenge you to write it down, go to ChatGPT and ask this. Act as a third grade teacher and explain KOL, explain DAO. So take those words and take notes as we are speaking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was trying to add myself back. Hey, so and thank you too for really explaining that. I did put in the chat. I said, "Do you have any questions?" Because Sharita gave us some amazing advice to ask questions to Chat GPT, and say, answer them like a third grader. And so that is that's amazing advice. We also have now coming onto the stage, coming to the podcast, we have another I'll say innovator in our homeschool sphere, and that is Shanna Smith. She is the founder of Conference Zone Collective, and she's also a homeschooling parent. So we're gonna, if she's able to, are you able to?
Can you I'm backstage.
No, you're not. You're on.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes,
hello,
I can.
everyone. My name is Shanna Smith. I homeschool. I've just completed my homeschool journey. I've homeschooled for over 20 years. I have homeschooled 3 children. And during that time, I've coached science Olympiad teams, robotics teams, and public speaking clubs. And now that I am done with my homeschool journey, I would like to continue what I've been doing during that time to help students work their way into STEAM, not STEM, because I have my youngest is into art, and she's informed me that technology is very boring without creativity. So it's STEAM careers, and prepare them to not only be able to do the job, but to succeed and thrive in that arena, because there are certain things that people from underrepresented populations face in these careers as far as entering, and once they enter, thriving and succeeding and remaining in these careers, the other populations don't have to deal with or address. So that's my goal, is to bring that to really South DeKalb, because in my journey, I had to drive my children all over Metro Atlanta to get access to those lovely programs that the other hosts mentioned before. And there is, you have your food deserts, there are STEM immersion opportunity deserts in DeKalb County. So I that is my goal. That is the goal of Empowerment Zone Collective, is as a collective, we empower the people in this zone of South DeKalb to thrive in that arena.
All right, thank you. I'm trying to remove something. So what I wanted to talk to you two about today is we have an opportunity right now, because we are in a space where there is an increase in Black families who are homeschooling, or who are just taking on school choice and independent education. And in the space of taking on school choice, taking on the independent education, there's an opportunity here for parents to be creative, with the things and to help drive the passions that their children have. So a couple of statistics are that before the pandemic, Black families were 3.3% of the homeschooling population. We are now 16.1% of the homeschooling population and growing. In the state of Georgia, in the 2023-2024 school year, there were about 79,000 homeschoolers. At the height of the pandemic, there were all over 90,000. And so what we have seen is that even though school got back in, many people, they stuck around. They stuck around at homeschool, and they stuck around for the things in which they were very excited about. Now, when I was homeschooling pre-pandemic, my children participated in a plethora of creative activities. We were musical theater family. So we literally participated in homeschool musical theater with the co-op here in Metro Atlanta. We were on Science Olympiad, and Shanna and I both actually helped coach Science Olympiad, and I just function as like a tutor and a mentor with some of the kids. We've done First Lego League. We've done FRC robotics. And so what I would like to ask you two, is that in this space of creativity that parents can bring to the forefront, what would you say would be the place that you would start if you were like, I'm new to this space and I'm not understanding everything? You don't understand blockchain, but you're really trying to figure out your child's passion as you're also teaching them something new. So I will start with you, Sharita.
Okay, yeah. So, and I'll reiterate the question. Basically, she was just asking for those, no, you're good, for students that are just entering this space.
Yeah,
they're
for
very new
students.
to it.
Yeah.
What would be like some places or things that they can, resources that we can bring to the forefront? Well, definitely I'm going to take this time to plug this book. Okay. In terms of blockchain, and we're going to kind of multi-layer this with resources even here.
Absolutely.
And then, I'm going to reverse this. I'm going to start with the parents. Okay. So we're in Atlanta at the Atlanta Blockchain Center right now, located in Buckhead. You can go to atlantachain.io is the website. atlantachain.io, get the address and all of that. Every single Thursday at 6:30, there is a meeting here, different topics in the blockchain space, NFT, metaverse, cryptocurrency, AI. Every week it is a different topic. They feed you, it's free. You just show up, and literally there's a PowerPoint presentation. They're building in here. Okay. So just as you all are taking on the role as parents, your parent teachers, yeah, Atlanta Chain, that's right.
Yeah.
As parent teachers, you have to be a student as well. So I think the first step is coming here. Any chance you get on a Thursday, the lineup of what is going to be taught the next week is always on there, like a few days ahead of time.
All social platforms.
IG, Facebook, even Eventbrite. I think they even have some Eventbrite. Yeah. So I think that's an excellent place. One of the tools that we have is I'm all about play and learn. We have this book on our website right here. This is a flip book. This kind of covers, so the fourth industrial revolution embodies, I tell people this is the easy way to think about it. It's technology on steroids. We're right in the middle of it. This is a two-sided activity and coloring book. This side is dedicated to blockchain technology, digital assets, and more. There's even coloring pages in here. There are people that you need to know that are in this space. There's meme coins. Listen. Earlier today, my business partner's son, who's 9 years old, is talking about a meme coin that just dropped today. He's 9 years old. So these kids they're in this, okay? All types of activities are in this book. You flip it over. This side is dealing with AI, big data, and more. And she's going to talk about the importance of data and understanding why, with Web3, okay? So this is another resource for parents. On the website, we have an ebook. Again, the ABCs of cryptocurrency for newbies. It's foundational. You all, how much did Bitcoin hit today?
Like 107,000.
It's not going anywhere. But the most important thing that you can do right now is get educated. Because like Tia said, this thing is so multi-layered. Like literally, like even understanding blockchains. People can lose money by sending money to the wrong blockchain, and people may say, oh, what's a blockchain? See, we got to start at the foundation. What is a blockchain? So what would you say is some other resource? Oh, I know another one. I'm going to drop this one. The news. If you, we'll put this down in maybe you could put this in. There's a gentleman here by the name of Teron Gold who has the Crypto Crew. All Web3 news is all in one space. So you no longer have to run around like, oh my God, what's Web3 news or what? It's all in one space. It's at the Crypto Crew with the K.com. The cryptocrew.com with the K. You need to go there. That's part of a resource. If I'm a homeschooler, that's something you can start off with. Let's look and see what's going on in the Web3 space for the first 5 minutes of class. Anything?
Yeah, to piggyback off of the Crypto Crew, it's a for us by us approach because A lot of times, and you'll see here, even myself being a KOL, we create content because there's no one else creating content for us, by us. And it's a lot harder for us to digest when it's really, really vanilla. I'm gonna just say that. So if I'm allowed, I'm sorry if I'm allowed. But when it's really bland,
hey, you can't.
when it's really bland. So so we try to make flavorful content that we can digest.
Yeah.
If you hear me knocking. But to just answer that question and getting started is I think the first thing you have to do to really, really get started is understand that there is no shortcuts. So the very first is your mind state. Like, to really, really become knowledgeable and to be successful in this space, you have to understand that there is a lot of bootstrapping that you're going to have to do.
That's right.
That's the first thing. Yeah. In terms of like tapping into certain resources to actually learn, I say start with the first top 10. Understanding what a blockchain is, understanding what a ledger is, and then being able to simplify that to kids. Like, I tell people that a ledger is basically, you know how our moms used to have a checkbook, and everything that every time she wrote a check, she would jot it right in that ledger. That's a ledger. And it's just distributed on a distributed chain. So every time a transaction is done, it's locked on that particular chain, and it's distributed worldwide. And that's basically the decentralization of it. If I wasn't too technical, tell me if I was. But I'm saying, like, when you really get started, start with that mindset. Then you want to go to websites like coinmarketcap.com.
That's right.
CoinGecko.com. And start with the top 10 cryptocurrencies. Try to understand.
And I'll drop a few of those. If you drop a few of those in a private chat, I'll make sure and make it into the main chat, those links.
Okay.
Because I think I'm typing stuff wrong as I'm Googling. I'm like, that's right.
Coinmarketcap.com and then CoinGecko.com. And when you first get there, it's a bit intimidating. Yeah. But once you understand what it is, you're able to navigate that space a little bit better. But just starting with the top 10 and just having an understanding that Web 2, 8 industries, Web 3 is eating value. I like to use the analogy that if Web 2 and money or value had a baby, this is what crypto is.
Yeah.
I have a question, because I know, so cryptocurrency, if you had to explain what cryptocurrency is it something that represents the money, or is it the money? How would you explain it?
So what cryptocurrency is, it's money locked on a network. So basically you have HTTP, which is the website in the Web 2 that we use currently. It has one server ran by the US government, and they have pretty much all control over that, right? So, but what decentralization is, it's servers that are ran all around the world. That's why they call it decentralized, because if someone attacked the US government's servers, it would knock the whole internet out. If someone attacked a blockchain server, it would just knock that one server out, but the whole chain would keep on going. So the value that's partially the value proposition, but that's just the base layer. So it's just a network. But on that network, you have money baked in. Every time I say, hey, I'm putting my money into this and I'm going to hold this asset, that's what you call a TVL, or total lock value. And the value of that asset is based on the total TVL on that network. So just like if I buy a house in a subdivision for $1 and this person buys it for $2, now my asset value goes up because this one is up more. So my value is up more. So the more people who join the network with and add more money to the network, my piece of the pie goes up more.
Yeah.
You're buying
Okay.
a piece of a network.
So you're buying a piece of the network. And so one thing about A1 Digital that that the company that Sharita has is that I know if you're an adult and you're looking like I'm still not totally getting it, but it sounds interesting and you see the value in it. Sharita actually is having a free class that is coming up in January for students who want to be a part of this, who want to learn more.
Absolutely, juniors and seniors. But even when we talk about like breaking, exactly right there, as we talk about breaking things down, even with our ebook. So when she uses the word decentralization, even at a teachable moment is breaking that word decentralization down. D means what? Remove. Removing the central. If something is central and I remove it, now there's no one person taking control over something. Okay. And that's a lot. That's the power in crypto.
Absolutely.
That's the freedom where, I mean, that when I think about crypto to me means freedom.
Absolutely.
And that's just the bottom line. But yes, on January 17th, and actually Tia is going to be one of our instructors. We're going to be having a free course for juniors and seniors, because the reality is, like I said, we're here at the Atlanta Blockchain Center. But one thing we know about students, right? The world is changing. It is absolutely changing. It's going to be January 17th, like she has up here, 8:30 to 1:30. Every student may or may not go straight off to college. Great if they do, but some of them really are like teaching themselves these technologies. There's a lot of builders in here and developers in here right now. They will build, they will develop, they will get older, they will move on. The whole purpose of this program is to make sure that there's still these kids funneling right over here to ABC to be able to develop, to be able to build, to go ahead and work with other people that look like them, to have their startup one day, right? So we're going to be covering topics like AI, Web3, blockchain technology, big data, digital assets, metaverse, and more. Again, it is free. We really want our homeschoolers out here. You can go on the website, which is a1digitalllc.com. And if you scroll up a little bit, there's a registration link right underneath there. I will say this. I'm going to leave this open to homeschoolers probably for about another 3 to 4 days. And then I'm going to open it up to my public schools that are kind of on standby right now. So if you're on a fence, you might want to jump in now. We're only taking 30 kids for this pilot program. But when I say you all, the world is moving
very fast.
Very fast. It is moving so fast. We're trying to keep up. Companies are trying to keep up.
Absolutely.
So we're just trying to do our part while we're on this earth to make sure that kids that look like us are prepared.
If I can add on to what she's saying about being here and having kids access this space right now, like there's a community of builders, and they build freely, they build collectively,
yes,
they build with love, they build with they build and they look like us, and they talk like us, and there are no what word do I want to say? Like they're not asking you, hey, I'll do this, but quid pro quo. Everything is done out of love.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things that I've noticed here is that when young people come into this space, everyone is eager to show them everything that they know.
Yeah.
Because they understand the importance of what's being built and understanding that we also need to be included in this future because we've missed out on every revolution.
That's right.
And this one is probably going to be the most important, and we can't afford for hours to miss out.
Yeah.
So having access to this space for free. All you got to do is show up.
That's right.
And just be eager to learn. I think this is one of the most untapped resources in the country, but to have this resource in Atlanta, where all you have to do is show up and learn, it's an invaluable space that everyone who has any interest in tech definitely needs to be here. So,
and you know what we always say, and I know you have to get on to the next guest. I've been on this earth for a long time, but I would challenge any other space where a Black man can show up 100% authentically him.
mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to present a facade. He can be smart. He doesn't have to downplay his smartness here. He can look any way he wants to look. And I wrote a note here, and you said this on something the other day about the brotherhood here. The men and the respect level and the growth with the men in here is unmatched. The women, the relationships and the development here are unmatched. And lastly, which is so important, the men with us.
Absolutely.
I've never walked in here and felt less than. They've always supported in a short period of time. And I'm not even an OG in this space, but for the short period of time I've been here, this is such a special place. And we just want your students to be a part of this as well and grow with ABC.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so and just to make sure, because I had a couple people saying, what's the Atlanta chain.io, because it was listed in the chat. Yeah. And I'm going to put that link back up there. Let me explain to you what the Atlanta chain.io is, in case you missed it. This is based here in Metro Atlanta, the Atlanta blockchain hub for blockchain, Web3, and crypto. I put it on the screen so that you can go and see this. And the interesting thing about it is that they're actually having a holiday party on Thursday.
Yeah.
And so I would have an opportunity to attend and be in this space and, kind of like take a couple of pictures, get an idea for it, because I am a mom who has children who were tech kids and they were on robotics teams and science Olympiad. And so this will give me an opportunity to see everything. Because I always say, like any parent, go check it out yourself. Yep. Since it's going to be a holiday party in the evening, grab your boo.
Yeah.
Over there, go and check it out. She said it's going to be free food. I was like, it was a free ticket.
Yes.
I was like,
yes. It's on Eventbrite, right? Didn't you get it from Eventbrite?
I got it from Eventbrite. Hopefully it's not closed yet, but I did. So this is the Atlanta hub for blockchain, Web3, and crypto. And so I would say, hey, if you're a parent and educate and you're like, I want to see what's there for my child educationally. First of all, always I tell everybody, I don't care who you're with, what platform it is. Even my platform, I always tell people, hey, show up and see if it's something you want to be a part of before.
That's right.
You bring your children to it. So definitely, I think that will be an evening of something for everybody to partake of and be a part of. And one more time, I want to make sure that I put up the Sharita's what is this? Her opportunity from dreamer to digital leader, which is shaping Web3 area. So this is for juniors and high school seniors.
That's right.
And so I would like to put a caveat out there, because we do have a lot of people in our community who have homeschooling kids who they may be taking junior and senior classes, but may not be junior and seniors, because I have a 14-year-old that's already taking a dual enrollment class, but I already know she's probably like, please, mommy, is this going to have math? I think she gets scared of it that it has math, but I digress. This will be something that I would think could be interesting to her. So if you feel like, and I would say at least your child has had at least minimally Algebra 1 geometry before you even think about hitting this space.
And I'm happy you said that, because I'm going to actually add that to the registration. Yes. If your child, I'm going to tell you this. If you feel, because we had a 14-year-old come in here who he's ready for all of what will take place on the 17th. He can come.
He can teach.
He can teach, actually. He can actually be a speaker. He can actually be a speaker. That's how sharp he is in this space.
And he's only been in this space since last year. And the thing is, when I say it's welcome to everybody, so his dad was just looking for something for him because he recognized this. I don't understand it, but my son is so passionate about it. I need to find something for him.
That's right.
And he's in our Telegram groups now. He shows up every Thursday. He's completely tapped in. He's a contributor. He's given us alpha. That's a crypto word, but that's basically a high level information. He's given us high level information inside of these chats. And even when he gets up and speaks on Thursday, he's giving alpha. And then after the second week here, he went home, watched some YouTube videos, and he's starting to code and program. And the fellas here are giving him pointers.
Yeah.
The owner here is giving him pointers now on how to get his project off the ground. And he's 14. He can't open a bank account, but all he had to do was deposit some crypto into his wallet, and he can take action, real action, to make genuine wealth in this space without any permission, because it's a permissionless space. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, and you know what's funny, you said that. This is what y'all have to remember. This is what y'all, we're trying to get off of here, but it's so much that y'all have to also remember, like, because wallets are private, okay, in crypto. Wallets are private. Your 5-year-old can have a wallet. Your 5-year-old can't walk to the bank and say, I want to open up a bank account or a savings account. But you can start them in on a crypto wallet from birth.
Yeah.
Like, you can do that. So their name is not attached to anything. It's all, it's crypto. But yeah, but I'm happy you said that, Nicole. We are going to, I need to think about that then, because you do have a lot of homeschool kids that are,
and I think a mathematics threshold is always a good way to cut off certain things, like especially have you at least had, because algebra 1, let's be honest, it does play through a lot of logic. So that is something that could be you can consider. But I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna transition to Shanna Smith, and I have a lot of things to say about Shanna. So Shanna actually is she's dear to my heart because I homeschooled I do homeschool. So I homeschooled 4 children. My children are now 23, 21, 17, and 13. And so my 23-year-old and her 23, 24-year-old, he may be 24, they were on a robotics team together. And so they did their thing on a robotics team. And my son got a chance to compete with this robotics team. He actually went all the way to Texas to battle a robot with this particular robotics team, and it was an amazing experience. And so, and having been a first Lego League coach, it was amazing to me. I also, Shanna was also at our homeschool co-op. She was also the coach for Science Olympiad, like I said before. And so, if anything you will learn about Science Olympiad, I'm gonna be honest with you, as a parent, Science Olympiad is not a fun sport for you as a parent. You literally, your children get prepared. They're able to they go on the day of, they take a test or they demonstrate what they know, and you're sitting in your folding chair all day waiting to see what happened. But your kids are excited about it. I do know one thing about Science Olympiad. I said it taught all the kids how to do research, how to do scholarly, high-level research. And so that was something that Shanna organized. And so I want to bring her in because she's talking about Empowerment Zone. Empowerment Zone Collective is her baby. That comes from her having been a homeschool parent and being in lots of many aspects. And I would like for her to speak more on when she was cultivating that space for her children and how to develop into a business. Hold on. There you go.
Okay. Yes. Basically, it was not my intention to turn it into a business, but my husband suggested that I make official what I had been doing unofficially for like the last 15 years. And I said, okay, you got jokes. But he was right. And I thought about it and said, yes, I could do a lot more if I would turn this into a nonprofit, because that would allow me to develop more partnerships and make it easier for me to bring a lot of this closer to where I live, because I love robotics. I absolutely enthusiastically, an unpaid brand ambassador for FIRST Robotics. I love everything about it. But the highest level, and they don't like you for you to say that they're levels, but FRC FIRST Robotic Competition, where they build the 120-pound robots, it's the most realistic thing you can actually do. And robotics is real life robotics. They're not playing with Legos at this point. There is only one FRC team in the whole county, period. There is one for DeKalb County, and there are hundreds of them in this state. There is no reason for there only to be one. There are opportunities that exist. Like you said before, it's just like when I'm working with these kids, especially the teenagers, and I listen to them as I'm there because I'm spending hours. We get there at 5, we leave at 2 in the morning. So I know more than what I want to know about their lives. To hear them and hear the roadblocks that they face, like, that's unnecessary. What do you mean they said you couldn't because of this? And what do you mean that's not how that works? And a lot of these students are not homeschool students. They are private school students and public school students. And so seeing the obstacles that they face, it's like, if I can get a partnership and I can get with these schools, I can remove those barriers for them. And so they can have that same benefit that our kids have that are homeschooled, because we remove those barriers. If I don't like this organization, I can drive my kid 2 counties over and do that organization. They can't do that because they're in a brick and mortar. But having said that, that was my driving force, seeing them succeed in any kind of career, whether it be STEM or not, is my goal, to remove that barrier and give them exposure so they don't think that this is something that other people do. I think that has been like a running theme here in this whole conversation, is representation matters. Seeing someone who looks like you, talks like you, walks like you, dresses like you, doing this, you understand it's not an other activity. This is you. You wouldn't be a unicorn if you did this. This is for the herd. The whole herd can do this. And they can benefit from the unique opportunities that it provides. So just getting them involved, and as you said before, finding that passion. Because when I first started this journey homeschooling my kids, I thought my kids hated engineering. I was an electrical engineer. I tried to get my kids involved. I had all kinds of activities that had to do with electrical engineering. They were never interested. Like, yeah, that's cool, but yeah, can we do something else? I said, my kids, none of them want to be an engineer. None of them. Okay, Girl Scouts came along. I was reading a little magazine. They said FIRST Robotics was going to be done in Girl Scouts because GE were providing grants to pay registration fees, supplies, all that. I said, you know what? We're going to do this. We're going to start one for our Girl Scout troop. Found out my kids love mechanical engineering. I was being narrow-minded. I was trying to get them into what I loved. They do like engineering. So what I would say, as far as finding out what they like, let them try a lot of different things. Take them to workshops. There are a lot of opportunities like 100 Girls Code. They offer a lot of free opportunities and workshops on Saturday mornings for girls. They meet in Conyers, and like, that's not far from me. It's not far from anybody in DeKalb County. They offer lots of things. If they are into robotics and they are a high schooler, are they into marketing? Are they into finance? Anything whatsoever, because FRC Robotics is a business. So every aspect of running an engineering business, there's a role for you on that team. There is a team that doesn't charge you anything to participate that meets in Atlanta. And it's an African-American team, and it's all girls, which is a beautiful thing. Because there's something about girls getting together, building something awesome. It is. So those type of things, providing those opportunities and teaching them. If you don't know how to code, we have sessions. We have instructors that would teach you that. You need help getting into college because you know you want to major in these things. We have SAT, ACT prep for you. You have questions, don't stress about it. Let's sit down, let's figure out where your weak points are. And when I say we have sessions, this isn't like tricks and strategy sessions. This is, what are your weak points? Let me explain that concept to you. So now it's no longer a barrier. You got this now. Go take it again. See your score go up, not because you guessed better or because you used a better strategy, but because you actually knew the material that was on the test better. So all of those things are what we are doing in Empowerment Zone Collective. And I love my homeschool group. So I still do things with them, and programming will be available there. So if you're a schooler, we'll be having a chemistry workshop in the new year. We'll be having a physical science workshop in the new year. We have a lot of art workshops there, teaching them. We just finished shooting a movie. They're editing it now. And we will be doing some stop motion film creation in the new year. So whatever they say they want to do, that's what I'm there to. And I guess that's the best way I would say, if you want to find out what a kid is interested in, ask them. They pretty much know, and then provide the opportunity. And that's what Empowerment Zone Collective is about. I get to geek out on engineering and programming, and they get to geek out on whatever else they're interested in. I'm at that point, I'm just a facilitator. And the other members of my board, they have different interests. Like I have a person who's a policy maker. So she's all about how can we make this a better system altogether for our students. I have an industrial designer who's also a human computer interaction person, and she's all into UI UX design and building robots and things of that nature. So she is all into making that type of curriculum. And we also have created 3 different curriculum packs with their own custom. I guess it's like I don't know what you call it, a mechanical bird that teaches mechanical principles. And that will be a workshop that we'll be hosting in the spring. And that is courtesy of Shanna Smith, who's my daughter, who's on the board. She is the maker of our crew, and she created that along with the mechanical bird. So it's really cool. So I don't know how to express that better other than saying that's my passion. Like she said, Science Olympiad isn't as fun to watch as it is to coach and watch the kids grow in. They get to really dive deep into things that interest them. And I have seen myself, a lot of students participate in both robotics and Science Olympiad, and their participation in doing those different disciplines in their competition has actually formed what they would major in college.
Yes. And Shanna, I just wanted to stop you right there because she was talking about the African American girls robotics team that is here. They've been to Worlds, right? To the Worlds competition.
They've been to Worlds twice. They kicked
been to Worlds twice. They kicked butt.
And they were featured in the Disney's robotics movie. They were, because they're awesome. They are.
Yeah, and they're right here in Metro Atlanta. And shameless plug. Today was my daughter's first day of practice with Eve Robotics. Yes. And Noelle is on the robotics team, but she is not building a robot. She is actually a part of the business. She decided she wanted to be a part of the business team and work on the website, the marketing, the soliciting of sponsors and things. I guess she get it from her mom. I don't know. But she decided that she wanted to be more on the business side of things. I'm suspecting that once she sees all the things that the girls are doing, she'll start to get a little bit more into the mechanics of it, and definitely the electronics, because my 17-year-old son was also on a robotics team called Atom. ATOM. So do you see the connection, Atom and Eve? So Atom, ATOM, it was a team of men, but I think they changed to a team of mechanics. And then you have Eve, engineering vigorously every day. And so it's like boy and a girl team. And my son was on the team, and he was in charge of I think electronics and the circuit board and things like that. So I've had all 4 of my kids have been in robotics in some type of way, including the one that is my second son, who's 21 at Morehouse, who is a performing arts major. He actually was the first member of, he was one of the members of my smaller Lego team when he was younger. And we won our first trophy in Lego League because of him for project, because he took over the project and made it a full performance. So it was a full performance. And I think, Shanna, you were there too, because I think Xavier played the theme from Jaws on his cello. And
he very much so did. And to, I guess, support that artists have a place in this technical universe that we're in right now, that everybody says is the new thing, where all the jobs are going. there's a place for the creatives in this field.
Yes.
To explain it to you in a greater picture, her son Xavier was applying for a scholarship. There was another young lady that was applying for a scholarship, and she had won the highest honor you could win in FIRST Robotics. It's like, I don't know, I guess it's like, I don't know, I can't think of an award that coincides with it. It's like the Heisman. It's like the Heisman of football. It's the Heisman of robotics. She won that award. She won it for 2 levels in robotics in the same year. That had never been done before. She competed for that same award. There was another student who was also on a robotics team that was applying for this same scholarship. She was going to school for computer science. They all 3 applied for the same scholarship. I know because I wrote their letter of recommendation for all 3. You know who won that scholarship? And this was a robotic scholarship. Xavier won it.
The performing arts Xavier won it.
No, he is an performing arts major, and he won it not once but twice. So they have
and it was very no, he didn't. Oh, I'm sorry, he didn't win the second time because he was like, I don't feel. He was like, I don't feel good about the fact that all the other people who did. I said, really? So he did it the first year, and I think he got a small. He actually got something else from the NAACP and the United Negro College Fund, so he was good. But I laughed because we were like, he wrote his whole essay on how First Lego League shaped him to see the creativity that can be in the tech space. And he talked about how he learned in cooperation, that's competition plus cooperation, how to deal with children, and how he actually took that over to musical theater that he was doing in middle and high school as being over doing musical theater. And he actually wrote a whole story about how he used cooperation when he was playing the genie in Aladdin to get everybody on board with their lines. And so I read this and went, they're not going to give you this. And that's another problem. As a parent, you got to keep your mouth shut sometime when kids are just running for the goal and doing something. So I learned my lesson a couple of different times because, with children who are like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, mommy. And you're like, you sit there and smile, but in your mind, you're going, I don't have the faith of a mustard seed on this one. I'm just looking at you. So, but don't doubt your kids, because the things that they learn here, I think the biggest thing, and I'm going to bring Sharita back in here. The biggest thing, because also we have Eve Robotics. If you want to check them out, they're actually, and their website, they are doing some amazing things. They're getting ready for their first robotics competition season. Now they build a 120-pound robot. This is what they build to back. Yes. And when I say they build it, they build it. The electronics, the programming, the design, and you're going to get a whole challenge of things you have to lift, move, slide, throw, whatever. And this 120-pound robot has to do it. And you only get, how many weeks is it?
Well, they've taken off the week limitation. It's no more 6 week. It's no more. They used to have to build it in 6 weeks and then bag it and tag it. Now they have up to their first competition, so the time is now like double. They have almost 12 weeks. So because
that's why you heard Shanna. Yeah, so that's why you heard Shanna say that she would literally have kids from the afternoon to 2:00 in the morning. Because when my children did Robotics League, the competition, it was literally 6 weeks to get this thing built. So you literally had children who were like doing their schoolwork and then spending hours and hours and hours getting this thing, to the point that if children made it to Worlds, at Worlds competition, they actually have a robo prom, because we have kids who skipped the prom to go. And my son went to robo prom. He enjoyed it. Her daughter did too. Her kid went to robo. Yes. And so because they were skipping, some of them were skipping prom to build a robot, which I was like, wow, y'all are really dedicated to this. And some of them did. So they always made sure they had a good celebration for them. So I do want to put that out there, that we have that Eve is still seeking members right now. And I encourage you, if you are a robotics mama, to reach out. If you're in Metro Atlanta, reach out. And here's another thing, even if you're saying, I'm a past educator, a former educator, I'm a parent who enjoyed this in any type of way, you had kids in FRC, it is the end of it's giving season. And so if you want to put your money somewhere where you know, because Eve Robotics, they do an amazing job with these girls, and they barely charge they don't charge.
They don't charge you anything.
They don't charge. And we've all had a conversation.
$50,000 a year.
It's a $50,000
just to compete. That's not your regular expenses. That's just to compete, to show up and to be on the floor is $50,000 a year. And she charges nothing. All she asks for is that they show up, willing to learn and participate. And she provides everything against my counsel. I'm like, you need to let them pay at least $30. But no, she will not make them pay a penny. And they do everything. They make their own uniforms, everything. They do everything. She shows them how to do it, from design to actually putting. They do everything. It's a wonderful experience. Like I said, it's like running a company, and and they don't outsource anything. Do they not make their own flags, their own t-shirts? They make t-shirts and flags for other teams. That's just how good they are at what they do. Other teams imitate them. It is, I love me some Eve. That's my team.
And this is here in Atlanta. This is here in Atlanta, right?
Yeah. So let me give you a little bit of context. So Lonnie,
they meet in Lonnie Johnson's building.
There you go. So so let's explain who Lonnie Johnson is. So Lonnie Johnson is the inventor of the Super Soaker.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So,
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And of course, we saw him get that big settlement for Hasbro for stealing his stuff.
Right.
Because he also does the Nerf air guns, not just the Super Soaker, but the Nerf guns also. Same technology.
Yep.
So side note on that, I always tell my children, that's why when you create things, you also need to know how to write and how to keep records, because there's no way on earth he would have been able to have that settlement if he didn't do the basic things of keeping some documentation. And that's also a beautiful thing about the robotics team, is that the robotics team is all about documentation, because you have to create a business, have a business plan, your volunteerism. It's so many different levels to it.
Yes.
And so I really would encourage parents to really think about how they want to initiate this tech space for their children, either with A1 or with Eve or with Empowerment Zone, because at the end of the day, the one beautiful thing that happens is that we have students who have tried something hard. And once you try to complete something hard, whether it turned out the way you thought or not, you have built a muscle called grit.
Yep.
And so as you build the muscle grit and you're getting stronger emotionally, intellectually, and also because you're working in teams with other people, you're learning to navigate boundaries. You're learning from you have your own mini work environment where you're saying, you know what, I'm beginning to recognize what a hostile work environment looks like. I need to recognize when I need to establish better boundaries, or when I need to speak up and advocate for myself. This is a space of nurturing space in STEM that I feel like you children being on any type of academic team, and I do feel like academic teams is a different set. I call them brain sport. That you get a different level of muscle being exercised. And so I absolutely love it. Sharita, is there anything that you wanted to add?
Oh no, I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm thinking about the space I'm in, physical space I'm in right now. So today is off the chain Tuesdays. So a lot of the builders, the developers are in the back room right now. And when you kind of equate that to like the robotics of the building, the falling, the teamwork, they're all back there right now. Listen, there's people who have been developing a project for 2 years. Do you think over those 2 years, everything has been perfect? Absolutely not. There's been days where they've had to start from scratch. Programs may have gone down. This didn't work. I tested this. This didn't work. Again, exercising. But guess one thing that none of them did? They didn't give up. And even with the robotics team, in our community too, we have to, and I saw this in a classroom, we have a fear of failure. We have a fear of failure. But I think that like STEM robotics, I think that helps with it, because you're constantly having to rebuild and work things and get things to the way they, eventually will be. So just tying in what they're doing, and then the robotics piece, it all goes hand in hand. It all goes hand in hand. Now, I did, Nicole, put a couple of websites in the chat as, again, resources. These are some a couple of our instructors, again, from the 17th. Those are their websites. One is trading, one is gamification and an earning platform. So definitely take a look at that as well. But I just think back to when we met at the Black Minds Matter conference. It's not that homeschooling was a new thing to me. I was very much aware of that. But between the homeschool and the micro schools and listening to what's taking place with us, I just thank you all for what you do, because the world is your children's classroom. They're not subjected to four walls. They get to explore the world. Like, even hearing you ladies talk about robotics, like, with such excitement, I mean, listen, every kid doesn't get that at home, every kid doesn't get that when they step into a building. So again, thank you all for what it is that you all are doing. We thank you for even this platform that we're able to share this. Again, this book, listen, your kids, it's on the news, it's everywhere. Like, everything you're seeing that's going on right now, the topics are all in this book. We hit on robotics and everything. All right. You can go to our website, www.a1digitalllc.com. You can order it. These books will come right to you. The ebooks will come right to your email.
Okay. And so I just one more time, I'm going to make sure that we reiterate that Sharita has her classes that are getting ready to start in January the 17th, and it is a free class.
Yes.
I wanted to make sure that you take the time. The website is down below. Yep. A1digitalllc.com. Please check it out and register. She only has 30 slots, and then she's opening it up to the other students. Another thing, if you have any questions for Sharita, you can also reach her at her email at a1digitalllc@gmail.com. Lastly, before I'm gonna let Shanna in, I'm gonna let Shanna have a final word on something as a homeschooling mama who also has a Georgia Tech graduate. So she one of her babies, who's a robotics baby, she's not a baby anymore. I don't know, how old's Tamara? so I'm sorry, how old's Tamara?
Well, I would say it, but I don't know if she want me to say it. But she's 27 now.
She's 27. And so I'm gonna let Shanna have a final word on some things with robotics. But before well, I guess I will. No, you go right ahead, because I really wanted you, if you were really explain, like, even go a little bit more into the heart that you've seen, because right now your youngest baby, Shanice, she is an artist, and she was in robotics. She was in robotics from elementary, middle, and high school. I mean, she did all three levels, but she is an artist at heart. Can you tell us a little bit more about how the whole jumping into tech drew that out of her?
I would say with Shanice, robotics, being exposed to robotics, because she was sort of like a tag along. When I've coached my first FLL team, that's the little Lego, that's where you do build with Legos. She would sit under the competition table and play with her toys. That's how small she was. She could literally sit under there and play with her toys. She watched her older two siblings they're geek and nerdy. She watched them do robotics, programming, mechanical engineering. She watched them. She went to their competition. She saw them have fun. When she was old enough to do it, she said she wanted to do it. Like, really? You want to do it? And I would say this. It showed her career paths that she could pursue that would allow her to be herself. She didn't have to choose
between eating and doing something she loved, because a lot of people think if you're an artist and you want to be an artist as a professional, you're going to be poor and you're going to be XYZ. That's not true. There are a lot of ways to do art where you make a lot of money, and being in robotics showed her that. When she did FTC and FRC, she was always, did she do marketing? Yes. Did she do graphic design? Yes, because my daughter is a very good artist. For the heavens, the Betsy's, I don't know where she got it from, because between me and her daddy, we can't draw a good stick person. But my baby is a very good artist. She's a painter. She loves doing portraits. She can draw. She can do any kind of art, but her favorite is painting. She that's her passion. That she'll sit there and do that for hours. But having said that, being involved in STEM showed her a way to take that creativity and make a career out of it. She saw a way. So when she entered high school and when she was preparing for college, she already knew. She had already talked to artists. She had been to workshops and talked to other professionals about what they did in STEM and technology. And she saw a way where she could take her creativity and be an artist and do something where she could have a great career and wouldn't be limited. And she didn't have to choose one or the other, having a living wage or doing something she loved. That's what robotics did for her. She can wire anything. She can handle heavy machine. I guess I don't know machinery, because she can machine shop anything. Um, she's actually licensed to use the cater makers, because she went through all the workshops just so she can use the tooling. She can make anything. She can wire anything, and she can program, and she knows she can, so she can enter those spaces. And what she wants to be is ultimately an art director, and she's going to use all that to become an art director. She's going to use her creativity. Man, she does want to do a lot, from sets, movie sets, to it's a lot. She has a whole roadmap planned, and all of it is using all her creativity. And she would not, I don't, honestly speaking, I don't think she would have landed where she landed had she not been exposed to those technical and science and engineering opportunities that were hands-on, immersive, and not just like I'm sitting in a class taking a lecture and we're going to do some math and solve some equations. If she didn't see the hands-on applications and actually experience that, I do not think she would have chose what she chose as a career path, and she wouldn't be so confident walking in that space. So when she tells people she's an art major and people tell her she's not going to make a lot of money, she just looks them square in the face like, you don't even know what you're talking about. You don't. I am. This is my plan. And she can spell. That girl has an ABC. She has a first track, second track. She, as the baby of the family, she has planned out her whole life a lot better than my first two. And they're more mature than she is. So I would say that is because she was exposed to different things in science, technology, engineering. And I never told her she had to choose. And she, in the environments that she was doing that, just they happened to allow her to bring her creativity into it and show her that they needed it. Like literally, there's an award for FRC competition where it's about how nice and how you coordinated your branding. Basically, it's about the branding of your company. I would say, because your team, they treat everything. Your team is run like a company, and so they have an award that's for how well did you brand your team, from how your pit looks to your promotional materials to how your robot is decorated, not how it's built and work, but how you made it look. Because nobody wants to buy an ugly car. I'm buying this car because of how it looks, not necessarily about what it does. And so all that's taken in, and Eve wins that junk every year. We already know. Count them points because we taking it home. She learned that her creativity was valued on that team, not just for wiring a robot and being on the drive team, but also how she brought that design to the outfits they wore. They wrapped their robot one year. They spent like 3 days doing it. I said, this is too much for me. I'm going home. But they wrapped that joke like people wrap cars. They wrapped the robot. The robot was styling and profiling. All of that design.
Kind of like what Sharita, that was kind of like what Latia was talking about when she was saying that we add a little flavor and a little sauce to everywhere.
Yes.
We do. I'm telling you, I've been in a lot of spaces this is why I'm here in Atlanta,
Yeah.
because it was important to be around us as we build.
Yeah. And so I'm just going to get ready to close us on out, but I wanted to have one more thing that I wanted to make sure. So Shanna Smith is with the Empowerment Zone Collective. And just in case you wanted to take some time to really look over her website and get an idea for some of the things that she is participating in, I'm putting it on the screen. It is empowermentzonecollective.com. Right now, she is she's bringing many of the courses that she's doing to our local homeschool group that's located here called DeKalb Christian Home Educators. We're getting ready for the spring. So spring membership is open at DeKalb Christian Home Educators. This is the website, dcheducators.org, if you want to check out the homeschool group. And lastly, I wanted to make sure that I speak about one of the main missions of the Georgia Black Home Educators, who are the hosts of the Flourish Conference. And one of the things that we have really taken to heart is that we want to bridge the technology equity divide. And so we have partnered with CompuDoct. And so in partnering with CompuDoct, we were able to, once again, give away laptops. Last year at the Flourish Homeschool Conference, we were able to give away 109 laptops. Over the course of the whole year, we ended up giving away 139 laptops. And so this year, we have the capacity to give away 150 laptops that come with AT&T hotspots that have a 1-year subscription. And so I wanted to make sure that our community is taking a moment. And here it is on your screen. If you go to compudot.org/computer giveaway and you go in here and register, this is for families who, if you have not received a laptop from us, then you can go ahead and register for this. If you've received a Chromebook or a tablet, you can still register for this, because I do have some families who in 2023, we gave away 50 Chromebooks and 50 tablets. In 2024, we gave away 139 laptops. And so we are trying to exceed that in 2025 with laptops and some hotspots, because as many of you know, when you're trying to do amazing tech education, you have got to have the equipment. And so we are excited to partner with CompuDot. So go to compudot.org/computer giveaway to register for your laptop. Please, when you go to the website, it will say where you're going to pick it up from. If you scroll down to where it says Flourish Homeschool Conference, I want to be very clear. Registering for this laptop giveaway does not mean you have to be registered for the homeschool conference. It just means that you'll show up and pick it up there on that particular day. But if you would like to attend the Flourish Family Homeschool Conference, which we will always love for you to be there to attend, if you would like to, please check us out at Flourish. I'm trying to remember my own website, flourishhomeschoolevents.org. If you want to check us out to attend our homeschool conference. And I just want to let you know that, so at our homeschool conference, this is truly a homeschool conference that is about equipping the parent as an educator, energizing an ecosystem of diverse curriculum support and options. We encourage social engagement, and we empower the parent to be a school choice advocate for whatever form of schooling that you choose. And so we do this in a plethora of ways, like having workshops. We're having a workshop by HSLDA that will be on how to turn an IEP into a student education plan. We have in the past had workshops on how to create an NCAA transcript. We'll be talking about how to homeschool through high school. And this means like how to onboard information into Georgia Future so your child has access to the Hope Scholarship. We will even be for the educational entrepreneur and for the parent that's an entrepreneur or wants to be an entrepreneur, we're also even going to have a workshop on the different revenue streams in which you can tap into, just as Shanna has, to leverage your experience here in the homeschooling community. I firmly believe that if you have the experience and you've done this amazing work with your children, you are a gift to this community, and we would love to have you at the Flourish Homeschooling Conference. Please, and right now there's a 25% off registration code for all exhibitors and for family tickets, which is 2 parents, 2 children. And if you type in Flourish Family, capital F for Flourish, capital F for Family, that is the discount code for 25% off. And so I just want to say to our guest here. Thank you, Sharita Blakely, and thank you, Shanna Smith, for both being here. We greatly appreciate you being in a space and just taking a moment out of your evening to talk to so many parents and everything. Please, as I said before, please take a moment to check out Sharita at her at her event at A1 Digital LLC, and please check out many of the offerings that Shanna has at empowermentzonecollective.com. Both of the links are on the screen and will also be available in the chat. So I would like to say thank you for joining us for Flourishing Conversations, and we will see you next time with another conversation. When we come back, we'll be having a conversation with Amber O'Neill Johnston, author of Soul School, aka the Heritage Mom blog. Some of y'all may know her as Charlotte Mason with an afro. And so we thank you. See you next time, and keep on flourishing.